those are my kind of questions. One is, do we eat meat? And then two, should that mean that we shouldn't eat meat now? Should we not get married now? Should we not do those things now? Because the perfect, which is in heaven, those things won't take place there. So how do we allow that vision of heaven to inform our now? So those are the kind of two questions.
Yeah, first of all, I think there is going to be more continuity with this life than discontinuity. When you throw out sin, the curse, suffering, you remove a big chunk of our lives. I mean, you really do, but all for the better for us. But I think our tendency is to think, and like even when you started to list those things, well, let's say no eating meat, which I tend to think is true because no more death. And I think no more death would apply to animal death, just as it applies to human death. There are people who differ with that. There is one passage, Isaiah 25, where it talks about on God on his holy mountain, preparing a great feast, the best of meats and the finest of wines.
What about the marriage supper of the Lamb? There's lamb at that supper. I'm just kidding. That's not what that means. I'm just that was me. That was me distorting for a bad joke. Sorry, bad joke. Keep going.
Wow. Okay. No, I am truly distracted. I mean, that went through.
I'm sorry.
No,
it happens once an episode.
But seriously, best of meats, finest of wines. So I think that will we eat and drink on the new earth? Yes. Now, how hard would it be in a world without death for God to duplicate perfectly the taste of the best steak or burger you have ever eaten? Would that be a problem for God? And here's the thing. We live with fallen taste buds. In a fallen world, every piece of food we eat is fallen, and our taste buds are fallen. So here we get this idea like, oh, it won't be fun to eat in heaven if we don't eat meat. And we're wrong on that. And we know it. So I think what we do is we keep superimposing stuff from our present, like the sports analogy. There can't be sports because it brings out the worst in us. And it's like, what are you even talking about? Like, oh, well, food in heaven can't taste good unless it's a dead animal. That's the only thing that could ever taste good is a dead animal. And it's like, what? Where did we get this from? And by the way, no, I'm not a vegetarian. And I think clearly in Genesis 9, people are told that there's a freedom to eat animals. Just as I gave you the grains, the fruits, the vegetables, all of that in the beginning. So now I give you the eating of animals. And by the way, that didn't happen right after they left Eden. There was probably, going by the genealogies, there was probably about 1,600 years between Eden and the flood, at least 1,600 years. And it's only after the flood that human beings are given permission to eat meat. I don't even know that they wanted to eat meat before that. Maybe it was just this brand new thing. I mean, they'd never done it. I mean, it had never been permitted. Let's put it that way. Now it was permitted. And by the way, what could be a reason for that? Maybe the diminishing of the animals. Maybe it's, again, parallel with Lewis, the dumb animals as opposed to the speaking animals. Maybe it's animals diminish in their intelligence and they're finally to a place where they can serve as food for human beings. But that wasn't immediately after Eden, maybe because animals were too much like they were in Eden, and God didn't give permission until there'd been a deterioration.
Okay.
I guess that I know Roundtree. I don't want to burn up all of our time, but that last question of like, if there are rules that apply to the age to come, should we attempt to impose them now? It might be you let your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And if these things are going to be going on in heaven, shouldn't we at least attempt to try to live that way now? I see a lot of people try to make that connection.
Yeah, I can see why. But then in Scripture, we're given while you're actually living on earth. And unless this is revoked, and it isn't, then you've actually got Paul, pushing back on all of the rules that people are having about what you can eat and what you can't drink. And there's a liberty Whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God. Then it's a personal discretion matter in 1 Corinthians 8 through 10 and Romans 14 when it comes to even eating meat that's been offered to idols. And then that's in the 1 Corinthians passage, and then just eating meat in the Romans passage. That's a matter of discretion. And what he's saying is, feel the freedom to do what is right for your conscience. So I think God has given us the conscience to do that now. I don't think we have to skip ahead to the rules that or not rules, but the way things will be on the new earth. Because if you did that, you say, well, I won't have sex with my wife anymore. No, you wouldn't say that because you won't on the new earth. So let's do it now. That logic just, to me, just falls apart. We should be holy as we're going to be holy there, but being holy in the present world in certain respects, certainly sex, will be different than it is in the world to come.